Folks, I'm going to tell you a fact that you may not know about the condo market and then get into the latest home prices and insights for condos across the GTA for week ending August 27, 2025. If you want to speak directly with me about your real estate situation, selling, buying, it's really simple. Below this video, in the description, there's a link to my calendar. Click on that, book a time that's convenient for you, and we'll talk about whatever's on your mind. So, when we talk about the condo market, and I have lots of conversations every day, either with potential condo sellers, potential condo buyers, or just people that want to talk to me about real estate, and we're talking about condos, things come up like, oh, the condo market is doing terrible right now because builders built so many little tiny condos and investors were buying them in the past, and investors are not buying anymore, and it's only end users buying today, and end users don't want these small condos. They want much bigger condos to live in, and there's just not a lot of them available. There's a lot of truth to everything I just said there, but it's not the whole story. When we look at the stats and we look at the data, and I'll be backing it up shortly when I get into the second part of this video, when I show the stats, I can tell you that, yes, there are few and far between investors buying condos these days. They are typically end users that are buying condos. But when we break down the sales, condos that are 700 square feet or less represents about 40% of all condo sales every single week. That's the vast majority of all condo sales. So the larger condos, 900 square feet, 1,000 square feet, although we obviously see sales in those also, they don't represent the vast majority of condo sales. 700 square feet or less, that's what's selling the most. About 40% every single week fit into that 700 square feet or less category. And when we break that category down further, the 500 to 600 square feet is where most of those sales are coming from. So it kind of goes against what a lot of people are thinking out there, that nobody wants these smaller condos. The reality is, it's the smaller condos that still represent the vast majority of all the sales out there. And the number one reason for that is most of the condo buyers are end users, true. Most of the condo buyers are also first-time home buyers, and affordability is still an issue. Although they would love 1,000 square foot, 1,100 square foot, 900 square foot condos, the price tag is still pretty high on those because of the size of the unit. It's the 700 square feet or less that is much more affordable. And it's that end user, first-time home buyer that still has an affordability obstacle there. They do want to buy, they do want to own, and that's their best option right now. And that's why the 700 square feet or less is the number one selling condo out there right now. And now we're entering the fall market. Lots of people, buyers, sellers, have lots of expectations for the fall market. Why don't you let me know in the comments below what you feel is going to happen with condo prices, condos, sales activity for this fall market. Let me know in the comments below. If you feel this video can help somebody you know, please pass it along. And if you get value from what we're talking about, subscribe. Now, let's get into the numbers. Here we go, folks. Condos for the GTA. We're going to be focused on condo apartments only, not condo townhouses, for the City of Toronto, for York Region, and for Peel Region. York Region, average price just a little bit higher than the City of Toronto average price, which is not usually the case, but some weeks we see York region a little bit higher. Peel region almost always is far lower average sold price when it comes to condos. For this week ending August 27th, there's a $141,000 difference between the average condo price being sold Peel region versus York region or the City of Toronto. $141,000 difference. We're going to start off with the City of Toronto. For a week ending August 27th, 157 condos were sold. 15 of those sold at $1 million or more. Now, in most areas, for August, we've seen a drop in sales, and which is a bit unusual. We've seen sales kind of trend up over the last few weeks in August. That's the freehold market. We're looking at condos here. We've not really seen a change in sales. Sure, each week a little bit higher, a little bit lower, but there's no real trend. So 157, it's kind of normal if you look at most of the year. So there's no real difference in sales every week. Average sold price, different story. Prices are trending down. We could see that over time where prices were then and where they are now. So for this week ending August 27th, average sold price is $676,000. $676 is 3% higher than the same week a year ago, which is also unusual because in most weeks the percentage is lower than the same time a year ago. The median price of $575 is 6% lower. The dotted line is a 4-week moving average. We can see over the last few months prices, average price and median price trending down, not aggressively, but trending down. We said 157 were sold, 25 of those, so 16% sold at list price or more. Listings, fewer listings. Active listings are dropping. We at one point were at 6,600 available condos for sale. That's just for the City of Toronto, 6,600. Just a few months later, we're at, say, 5,600. So there's 1,000 fewer condos available for sale. I can guarantee you, and you can see the sales for every single week, we didn't sell that many condos. Lots of these condos, the listings naturally expired at the end of August, so they came off the market, or sellers pulled their properties off the market. A lot of those are going to be coming back on the market this fall. Months of inventory, still way up there at 8.2 months of inventory. Overall, a buyer's market. But let's break the city down into 9 different sections. And if we say the whole city's averages out to 8.2 months of inventory, well, you got different months of inventories, different types of activities in different neighborhoods. For example, Midtown is at 7.6 months of inventory. Rexdale Downsview, 5.9. Etobicoke, that sold 21 condos, 6.5 months of inventory. Still a buyer's market, but not as aggressive, say, as downtown that's sitting at 9.5 months of inventory, or uptown that's sitting at 8.4 months of inventory, for example. That's the whole city. That's all condos. Let's look at 1-bedroom versus 2-bedroom condos. This is 1-bedroom for week ending August 27, 76 1-bedroom condos sold. Average sold price is $539,000, and you can see that price trending down. Compared to versus this time a year ago, $539,000 is 8% lower. There's 2-bedroom condos. 68 2-bedroom condos were sold. Average sold price is $794,000. That price has also been trending down. When we compare, 537 is 8% lower than the same week a year ago. And when we compare 1-bedroom versus 2 bedrooms, there's a $255,000 price difference. That's significant. 1-bedroom is 7.5 months of inventory. 2 bedrooms is 8.4 months of inventory. there's somewhat of a change there. You're not going to, it's not so dramatic, an extra month of inventory. I know it may sound like a lot, but it's not going to be a material difference out there. Let's look at square footage. And these are the square footage ranges that we see on the MLS listings. And I said earlier that the vast majority, 40% or more, of all condo sales are between 700 square feet and lower. Well, 5 to 599, 6 to 699 is where the actual majority of all condo sales are. So it's still the smaller condos with the lower average sold price that have the most sales. They also have the highest amount of sold at dollars per square foot. And for this week ending, it's 971. And when you get to these larger condos, you're looking at 775 per square foot, 743 per square foot, 700 to 800 per square foot versus just under 1,000 a square foot for the smaller condos. Here's York Region condos. For week ending August 27th, 35 were sold. 2 of those sold at $1 million or more. Sales, I wouldn't say it's really trending one way or another. It's kind of flat. Average sold price is up and down, but I would say overall trending down. But we're sitting at $678,000 for the last week of August. Versus last year, $678,000 is 2% higher. The median price of $645,000 is 3% higher. 35 were sold. 5, so 14% sold at list price or more. Active listings trending down. 90 condos were listed for the last week of August, and months of inventory sitting at 7.3. Here's Peel region. For week ending August 27th, 25 condos were sold. No condo sold at $1 million or more. Average sold price trend, it's pretty predominantly trending down. The average sold price is $537,000 for week ending August 27th. 537, 13% lower than the same week a year ago. The median price of 528 is 7% lower. 25 were sold. 6, so 24% sold at list price or more. 104 were listed. Active listings, we're seeing fewer. It's not aggressive, but we're seeing fewer active listings. Months of inventory, way up there at 10.2 months of inventory. No matter how you slice it, whether it's 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 3 bedrooms, Toronto, York region, Peel region, it's pretty much a buyer's market when it comes to condos. Now, there may be some competition. Some condos may be so unique that that's the condo the buyers are waiting for and they want to compete for that. Or sellers may price their condos so aggressively that buyers may want to compete for that. But overall, it's pretty much a buyer's market when it comes to condos. Thanks for watching. Have an awesome day.